What's good, agents, and what to do when you reach level 30. First of all, you want to get that level all the way past 30, as if you're going to level to level 31. At that point, you're going to unlock Phoenix credits, which is your endgame currency for purchasing high-end gear, whether that be from the special weapons vendor who is in the top floor of your base, or if that's from the Darkzone vendor at the far, far north of the Darkzone. So when I reach level 30, you basically are presented with a couple of options that you'll want to be doing on a regular basis. Every single day, there are 3 daily missions. These missions award Phoenix credits. Let's start with the 2 hard mode missions before we talk about the challenge missions. These will show up on your map as missions with a white circle around them, and they will say daily rewards available if on hard. So the hard mode daily missions are the missions you've already played with a harder difficulty, and if you complete them, you're going to earn 15 Phoenix credits, as well as possible Phoenix credits from the bosses. Now, Massive just changed the amount of Phoenix credits that bosses drop. They've nerfed it quite a bit, and I think it's like 1 to 3, and it's not guaranteed. But the daily missions, the way you want to complete them, and I do encourage you to complete them because Phoenix credits will be necessary to be gearing up, go to the map, hit Y on the daily mission to reset it, make sure you select hard, and then matchmake the mission to complete it. They shouldn't take you too long. If you're doing the mission and you see level 25 enemies, you didn't select the hard mode, so don't make that mistake. You'll be seeing level 30 enemies if you selected hard mode. Purple bars, yellow bars, that's what you'll be facing. The challenge mission is granting 20 Phoenix credits instead of the 15 that you get from doing the dailies. The hard mode one is way different than the challenge mode one because the challenge mode one is freaking difficult. You don't even want to attempt this unless you have full level 30 gear, and even then it can be pretty challenging. This is not something you just want to hop right into. I would relate it a lot to the Nightfall in Destiny. Now, the reward difference is not that big, the difference is 5 Phoenix credits, which you can pick up in the Darkzone pretty quickly. But it is a challenge, and it is fun. We don't know what kind of reset the challenge mode is on just yet. In the first week, we imagine that not all missions, by the way, are capable of a challenge mode, but we imagine that these will be on a weekly reset type deal. So that's your 3 easy PvE ways to get Phoenix credits, which you'll want to be running those 2 dailies every single day, and once you get geared up enough, you'll probably want to be running that challenge mode with your friends. Then, by the way, you can matchmake all 3. Then it's Darkzone. The Darkzone is obviously the way to get endgame stuff. Darkzone, it's progressive difficulty, basically, from DZ1 all the way to DZ, 8 or 9. So the further north you go in the Darkzone, the harder enemies will become, all the way up to, like, level 32 mobs. When you just start out in the Darkzone, I'd encourage you to, explore the space, because you will get easy XP from exploring the new zones. But for the most part, stay below DZ5, I would say, because you're just going to get wrecked by some of those enemies. All throughout the Darkzone, there are PvE enemies, and there are certain routes you can run to hit these PvE enemies on a consistent basis. If other teams have been killing them, they might not always be spawned in, but the PvE enemies will give you Darkzone experience. But the bosses, if you run into those named bosses, they will drop Phoenix credits as well. I believe it's like 1 to 3 Phoenix credits. Now, Massive is changing this number. They just changed it a couple days ago, so if I'm wrong, I apologize. But it's like 1 to 3 Phoenix credits for killing these bosses. So the best bet is for you to build a good zerg train. That means you and your buddies are picking a route. You're running a circle, a nice little loop in the Darkzone. In fact, if you check out RX channel, I'm going to post a link to that in the description below. Amazing Division YouTuber. He's got a really good route that you can run through the Darkzone to get a lot of XP, as well as Phoenix credit farming down. Not as much as you could pre-nerf, but it's going to be a good way to get that DZ XP up pretty quickly. You're going to be needing to be Darkzone level 30 before you can open many of the chests in the area. There are some level 10 chests, but for the most part, getting to level 30 in the Darkzone is going to be a priority. So endgame right now, do your dailies so you can get the Phoenix credits. You can purchase stuff with Phoenix credits from the special weapons vendor who's in the top floor of your base, or at the far end of the Darkzone, the very north point, there's a safe room with a guy who's selling Darkzone gear for Darkzone. You have to have like DZ level 30 or DZ level 50 for most of those items, and he'll sell you that stuff for Phoenix credits. The challenge mode is another way to get Phoenix credits, and then just doing Darkzone is your last way of getting Phoenix credits right now. Why are you gearing up? Because in April, everybody's getting the free incursion patch. Incursions are going to be an endgame PvE activity. Some people think it'll be like raids. Other people, like me, think it's more going to be dungeons, but we don't really know. So it's worthwhile getting geared up for that event, and also the higher you get geared, the higher in the Darkzone you can go, the more fun you're going to have in the challenges, and lots of good stuff there. Coming in May is also a Darkzone update that's free to everybody. I'll close out today's video by saying I'm enjoying Endgame Division a whole lot more than I did the story and campaign. Now that I've had the adventure of getting through the full story, level 30, and spending time in Endgame, in my opinion, Endgame beats the heck out of the story and single-player campaign. I, for the most part, thought the artwork was unbelievable and amazing, and the team deserves a huge award for how great the city is, but the gameplay itself within the missions and just getting to level 30 felt like a slog to me. There were often times where I was kind of bored and I just was listening to podcasts and doing other things, and that's not a jab necessarily at the game. I just didn't find the 1 to 30 experience to be super captivating. But once I did get to Endgame, the dailies are really fun with 4 people once the challenge gets ramped up and you've got all the abilities unlocked and you're starting to see some of that Endgame gear. And Darkzone. Darkzone is pretty rad. So I want to encourage you, if you're a player who's like midway through the leveling and you're getting pretty bored, or you're just finding it to be a slog, continue on. It gets really good. I think Endgame is pretty darn fun. Compare this game more to a Diablo than some kind of MMO light, and that will improve the experience quite a bit. Thanks guys. If you found this helpful, please let me know with a like or ask any questions you may have down in the description below. I will see you next time. Good luck in the Dark Zone.